And I'll just say one thing. Today is an opening event for an exhibition inside called Quell Hoy, We Draw the Line, about the totem pole journeys that the Lummi have taken over a series of 7 years, specifically dedicated to fighting fossil fuel expansion and protecting sacred places in the context of the climate emergency. So welcome everyone, and we'll turn it over.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Chief Jesse James Swan. I'm the chief of the Piscataway Kanoi tribe of Maryland. I'm honored to be here today with the presentation of the totem that's been sent across our states. Um, I'm sorry I have this big long speech, so I'm gonna fill in where I can. And please excuse me. Today is a landmark in our history here at Washington, D.C., and we are grateful that to be a part of this totem pole right here and what it represents. And everybody that's here that is native truly understands that we are stewards of the land and we must protect our land. And a land acknowledgement is only the beginning. You know, we have to stand by the treaties that were made. We have to protect the lands, the waterways, excuse me, and and basically, you know, let's just do the right thing. And we are honored to be here. I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I'm going to introduce Miss Julie Yates from Piscataway Indian Nation, and I welcome everybody that is here today. Thank you.
Hello. Hello and welcome, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all the participants and all the Indigenous people that have traveled the long red road of the four directions to attend this sacred blessing ceremony today. My name is Julie Tyak Yates. I'm the matriarch of the Piscataway Indian Nation. Our land is far and around all the rivers that you see here today, around Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. It is the Potomac River, the Anacostia River, and down the bay to the Chesapeake Bay. Our people lived here for many, many years, and water provided all of our food. We had at one time a lot of fish that traveled out of the Anacostia River into the Potomac River. Our rivers have been polluted for many years now, which has caused the salmon, they're sort of like salmon, but they're herring fish. And we use those fish for our food, and we dried them and smoked them. We use a lot of our medicines that you see growing all around the metropolitan Washington, D.C. area. I am so proud and honored to be here to represent this journey. Thank you so much.
We would like to give honor by asking Lance to play an honor song for us um, to start off the event, and we welcome everybody here today.
Pivawana Maheo Nanako Naheshave Nasisave, Lance Fisher Naheshave. My name is Lance Fisher. I'm from the Northern Cheyenne Tribe. I've been invited by Chief Swan here to help welcome everyone to the Piscataway lands, ancestral Piscataway lands, and we're going to open up with two songs, one song in Cheyenne, one song Lakota. Javon's going to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Giovanna Gross. Hamatak Yapi, Giovanna Imachapi, Oglala Hemacha. And my father's from the Medicine Root District of Pine Ridge Reservation, and my mom's from northern Peru, from the province of Lambayeque. And I'm just here with Lance to help him sing, as a woman singer, help him sing Northern Cheyenne song and an Oglala Lakota song, just to help out the Tayak family here of the Piscataway Lens, and welcoming everybody here. Thank you.
My own home is set. No kapena hene na Yahweh seheta hene Yahweh 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 no kapena hene na Yahweh seheta hene Yahweh 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 Hey, hi, hey, hi, hi, hey, 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 hi, 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 Ashemalaya, 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 Hoye, Hoye, Wayelo, Hey, Hey, Ampetukile, Makakeshelo, Wane, Washiyam, Hoye, hoye, wayelo, hey, 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 Shemalaya, 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 Hoye, Hoye, Wayela, Hey, Hey, Ampetukile, Makakitela, Wane, Wachiyam, Hoye, Hoye, Wayela, Hey, yo. Nyashman. Aho. Thank you very much. Originally from Kansas. Oh, Raymond? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Ed Schupman. I'm the manager of national education here at the National Museum of the American Indian, and I'm a citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation of Oklahoma. I'd like to say Mado, thank you to Chief Jesse James Swan and Julie Tyak Yates, and to our singers this morning for welcoming us, for their welcoming remarks and acknowledgement of the Piscataway lands that we are on here, and also for the songs to honor this event and to get us started in a good way. So Chairman Solomon, Lawrence Solomon from the Lummi Nation, the many people here from other Native nations, it's good to see you. We welcome you. The House of Tears Carvers, the Red Road Project, the Natural History Museum, all of you, welcome to the National Museum of the American Indian. I'd especially like to acknowledge Doug James and the House of Tears Carvers for their remarkable work over the years and for this totem pole that they've brought here to Washington, D.C. We also extend our well wishes to Master Carver Jewel James, who was recently hospitalized and remains too ill today to join us, but we hope for a good and a quick recovery for him. The National Museum of the American Indian, this native place here on the National Mall, is grateful that it can host the exhibition titled Quelhoy. We draw the line. And this exhibition will be on view here through September 9th at the museum. Also, that this pole that has traveled across the nation will be available to be viewed outside the museum today and tomorrow. Our museum's vision statement is for equity and social justice for the native peoples of the Western Hemisphere. We do this through education, through inspiration, and empowerment. This vision matches up wonderfully with the mission of the project that we are here to honor today. Today we gather to uplift Indigenous leaders in their struggles to protect water, to protect lands and the sacred sites of Native peoples and our collective future. A few years ago here at the museum, we created an educational website about the environmental challenges that Native nations are addressing today in their homelands. At the time, we reached out to the Lummi Nation and we asked permission to tell their inspirational story about the work that they do to restore and to protect salmon. They graciously agreed, and I had the opportunity to visit the Lummi community and meet with members of the Department of Natural Resources, hatchery managers, elders and members of the culture committees, carvers, staff of the Northwest Tribal College, and educators at the Lummi Nation School. And we've been able to feature an educational case study about the culturally grounded and multifaceted work that the Lummi people are doing to save and protect salmon, a species that is deeply tied to their history, to their culture, and to their identity. One word from the Lummi language that I heard many times during my visits there was shalangan. Shalangan, the Lummi way of life that includes the responsibility to respect and care for the earth. And now the Lummi people and others are bringing this message across the nation and to the US government about the importance of protecting our natural resources along with the sacred sites of Native Americans. So today we honor and we thank you. We thank you for the important work that you are doing and welcome you to Washington, D.C. and to the National Museum of the American Indian. I'd like to invite everyone to visit the museum after today's ceremony or to return when you're in town. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you again. Pleasure to introduce Becca Economopoulos from the Natural History Museum and Not an Alternative. Becca.
Thank you, Edwin, and thank you for hosting us today. My name is Becca Economopoulos. I am the director of a traveling and pop-up museum called the Natural History Museum. As a part of the museum sector, I will say that my institutional discipline has an inglorious past, and in many cases present, with regard to the first peoples of these lands and waters. Yeah. Still too close? Okay. Museums are born from a history of plunder. And the colonizers understood the power of history and the stories that we tell and how that relates to what happens to the land. And we seek inspiration from native-led movements to protect the sacred, to protect water, to protect the land. And in the context of the extinction crisis and the climate emergency, to protect our collective future for the generations to come. And so we are so grateful to the Lummi Nation and to the House of Tears Carvers for all of the work that you have done for so many years and the sacrifices that you have made. And everyone else in the audience today who represents a community that is struggling to protect a sacred place. We thank you for your work, and we are behind you. And we are pushing museums, historians, archaeologists, anthropologists, ecologists, wildlife biologists, and conservationists to get into alignment to support the leadership of Native nations and Indigenous peoples. Our collective future depends on it. Thank you to the Smithsonian for hosting the Quellhoy exhibition. It's something we worked on with the House of Tears Carvers over several years to help tell the story of the Totem Pole Journeys and their work to protect their ancestral sites and waters from North America's largest proposed coal export terminal. And they won. And they continue to win. And they continue to inspire us. And hopefully we've done some small bit of justice to their work and to that story in this exhibit. So I invite you to go there. And to join us on the National Mall in just a couple of hours as the Red Road to DC culminates here, where a 25-foot, 5,000-pound totem pole has been crisscrossing North America, visiting communities struggling to protect sacred places. And as it travels, it picks up the spirit of the lands it visits and the power and the prayers of the people. And that's what we are delivering here to the symbolic heart of a wounded nation, in the hopes that it can bring healing and set a course for a different path forward. Thank you. Now I'm going to invite Doug James from the House of Tears Carvers, as well as those from the Lummi Nation who are traveling in their delegation today, to close out the event with some words and a song.
Aich Kachil, Sitki Kadam Sonasnat, my Stalas Siamowit. It's a great honor to stand with you today and bring recognition to all the sacred sites and to the preservation of the salmon and the orcas. For these are the ones that don't have the voice, and we have to speak up for them. You know, and we're just reaching out and asking each and every one of you to keep a prayer in your heart. I know we gone through so many trials in this walk of life, you know, but I want to honor my brother this morning. You know, he's really gone through some trials in the last couple weeks here, health issues, you know, so he's been missed on this journey. For 20 years, you know, we've been crisscrossing this country, bringing poles as far away as Winnipeg, 100 miles north of Winnipeg, to bring attention to the fracking that's been going on up there. But most of all, you know, this journey here for preservation of the sacred sites is really important. And for the climate change, you know, we really believe that it's this generation here that has to speak up for the next 7 generations that are coming up behind us. If we don't change what's happening right now, what are we going to pass down to our children's children's children? You know, so we just want to bring that out to light here, you know, and for our lost Indigenous women, murdered women, you know, that have disappeared, you know, to bring some kind of a closure. Also, my brother says to remind you of the lost Indigenous children that died in these boarding schools. Allow us to bring their remains back to their people and to let them rest in peace. So these are just some of the things that we want to bring to the attention of our country, you know, and that we can stand united with one heart, swallowing with one mind, you know, so we can't do it alone. This ain't an us thing, it's a we thing that we're doing. So my hands are out to every one of them. Across this country, we came across some very powerful, giving people out there, you know, from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. So it's been a great honor to go visit their lands and understand, you know, that we have family no matter where we go across the Turtle Island here.
Some of the relatives that stood with us are already here that have been on the journey.
Yeah, I'd like to have our ones that traveled with us just to bring you forward here, just to honor you for standing with us across this country. So have our security, our road crew saying hi to all of these ones here. We couldn't have done it without them, and we couldn't have done it with all those that reached out to us and helped us along this trail. See, and all those that were from the capital area here, you know, that were on the ground over here getting things prepared, you know, as we were coming across country. There was a mad scramble over here just to get things in order. So putting our hands out to the chief and all of his relations here. It's good to come and mix tracks with you today, CM. I want to really thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be upon your land here today, CM. Aishka, thank you. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our our chairman from the Lummi Nation, Lawrence Salmon, CM.
Asyam, Nishchalacha Siyam, Itza Salaluch, Itza Siathlam, Atsasyam Nishchalacha, Haishka, Haishka Quinasanat Tachel, Itza Itzin Tlatzatina Quelia, I Suitzin, Ohiluk, Quinas Langnuch Tia Nishchalacha. Dear friends, relatives, elders, and respected women, on behalf of our family here, thanking each and every one of you for being here, and our hands go up to you. Haishka Siam. Very happy to see you, my friends and relatives. Just want to thank each and every one once again, and talk a little bit about this day. This is very important. What we're doing, acknowledging the Red Road to DC, acknowledging the Totem Pole Journeys, and talking a little bit about what's important in Indian country. But I just want to thank you all once again, and ask Huatatlam if he can come up here and say a few words, and then we'll share a song right after. Huatatlam.
Aitzquachil, Watatlam, Sunisnat. My name is Jay Julius. I'm from the Lummi Nation. I'm a fisherman. I come from a long, long, long line of fishermen. We entered into the Treaty of 1855 with Governor Stevens. And I think I just want to share one thing. It's not just my treaty and Lummi's treaty and a tribal treaty. It's Biden's treaty. He's a new president. This is his treaty just as much as it's ours. And the very first environmental laws, water protection laws, salmon protection laws, any laws around that were created through treaties, and it's treaties that protect the voiceless. And we need Biden to acknowledge that. We invite him back to be in one with, giving not just consent of tribes, but consents of nature. And we have never separated ourselves from nature. We have never divorced ourselves from nature, and we invite everyone else back to the natural way of living, because these children's future rely on us and our voice to protect the future for them. I want to thank the team, everyone here, everyone who went on the journey, everyone who stands for sacred sites, sacred waters, sacred lands, and most importantly, I want to acknowledge our ancestors. And I want to acknowledge our new ancestor, Uncle Smitty, who passed away about an hour ago, who was a fierce leader from the Lummi Nation, an elder. And with that, just want to say Haishka to each and every one of you, Haishka to the team who has put this together, and Jewel James, prayers for him. Thank him for his leadership, carving the totem. And we'll proceed with a song here. Haishka.
Thank you, Jay. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Really want to thank Jay and praise and acknowledge him as a strong leader. Now, thank him for his words. We want to close with the song. I'd like to also thank our Secretary of Interior, Deb Haaland, and to acknowledge and thank her and greeting us here. We want to share a song, and this is a song of who we are and where we come from. This song is called the Survivor Song, and it comes from a story, the story of the Great Flood. In a lot of our culture and a lot of our history, we have a story of a great flood. And this one, it took place in our homelands. I'll talk a little bit. In this song, it says, Chashush wawaluk siam, Anat tachel nachwilnuch, Seethling quanquam, Chashush wawaluk sin siam. And those words, they mean, my highly respected people, we come from the survivors of the Great Flood. Come together, my Indian people, and stand strong. I am a survivor of the Great Flood. So if you're able to stand today, to please stand, to stand strong together. And this song is also the national anthem of the Lummi Nation. This song was composed by Silamtin Silik Kaliwasit and Tatsukayad. And we want to share this song today. When we sing these songs, we're in prayer. When we sing these songs, they're not just songs. We'll have a special prayer in your hearts for the ones that we talked about today, Jewel James, Uncle Smitty and his family. Having a special prayer in our hearts for each and every one here. Want to thank you all for being here, and we're really happy to be here. Haishkasiyam.
There's one more we'd like to bring attention to, and that's our relative down in Miami Aquarium. We've been trying to bring her home for some time now. She's been held in captivity down in this aquarium for 56 years. She was captured when she was 4 years old, and she's been crying to go home. So keep her in your mind, CM. They do also have rights. They're family orientated, and they belong with their family, CM. Haishka.
Thank you, everyone. That wraps up today's event. You are invited. You're going to do one more song? Okay, we're going to close with one more song. Just if I could say one thing. I just want to say there's no filming or photography of this. Thank you.